Hi guys, what you're about to see is a new segment for the channel called True Story. Now this week I sat down with my brother Paul and he gave us a true story as to his fishing trip this weekend. Now what you need to understand is that Paul is not a fisherman, Paul is not an outdoorsman, Paul does nothing remotely outdoors. So hope you guys enjoy it and I'll check back with you after you watched it. Hey, what's happening everybody? We're here shooting a new segment for the show. It's called, what did I call this? True Story. That's what I called this. Yes. Yeah, we did. True Story. I'm here with Paul, my brother. Here's the thing. Weekly, we're going to have a different guest on the show telling a true story from their life. Now, hopefully it'll be funny. And if it's not funny, we're going to have to scrub this whole thing, so you better hope that your story's funny. We call it True Story. These are true stories. However, some of the names may be changed to protect some of the people in the stories from beating our guest's head in, because these could get very embarrassing. Anyway, we're about to go with it. Paul's here. Say hi, Paul.
Hi.
Paul got a haircut since the last time you saw Paul on Random Car Rides with Paul.
You may remember me as Kramer.
Yes. He is. And he's also straight, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, straight.
It's very straight. that gets me every time. Anyway.
And I love Starbucks.
And he apparently loves Starbucks and doesn't know the difference between Starbucks and Sawbucks. But whatever, I digress.
I know the difference.
What's the difference?
A cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Hold on. The only difference between Starbucks and Sawbucks is a cheeseburger to you.
Well, and Starbucks has a drive-thru.
It's the only... Alright. I'm just going to go with it.
And Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi, apparently. Okay. Just to go with it. Alright.
And a lot closer to home.
Okay. And a lot closer to... Alright. I'm agreeing with you. I'm going with it.
All right.
No need to keep it going.
Oh, okay. And caffeine. They have caffeine.
Well, technically they have caffeine at Sawbucks too.
Yes, but the caffeine's not nearly as delicious.
Okay.
More expensive.
Whatever. We're not going to get into the...
Anyway.
Whatever. That's neither here nor there.
That's my unpaid spokesmanship for Starbucks.
And Sawbucks, apparently.
No, they just have cheeseburgers.
Well, they have more than cheeseburgers.
All I've ever had is a cheeseburger.
Okay. Alright. Alright, cool.
When did we have a cheeseburger at Starbucks?
Anyway, the segment's called True Stories. Paul's here tonight to tell us a true story. Now let me set this up. Paul actually went, what was it, this weekend?
Yeah.
This past weekend? He went on a, what would you call it?
I went on a weekend trip to the woods. Let's just call it that. There's not really a category.
And for those of you that know Paul, Paul's never set foot in the woods before. Ever.
I have to.
Burns Park don't count.
I have been camping before, and I hate it.
You went camping on someone's property in a big field.
I slept in a tent. That's all that matters.
Okay. He was actually in the woods in a cabin this time. With how many gentlemen?
There were 3 others.
I swear to God, he's straight though.
We're all straight. But it could have been. It was almost kind of like an episode of Queer Eye. But
all right, that's weird. It's a little awkward. I'm not sure I want to hear this story.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Okay. So what happened was we went. 4 of us guys went. 3 of the guys that I went with were all older than me. All of them balding. So many bald jokes came this weekend. I would like to thank the Lord for that. Until we got, the next morning when the sun hit all those bald heads and I had to put sunglasses on. I was looking for ball caps in every closet for these guys. Well, you get out there in Arkansas sun, they could fry their brains. They've already fried their hair follicles. So
you're saying these men were follically challenged?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Okay.
I just felt like I was at a Mr. Clean convention. But anyway. So we get up there, and the day I want to tell you about is Saturday.
Okay.
we get up Saturday morning. Of course, all of these men, they're all older than I am. And for those of you who don't know, I am not exactly a happy morning person.
He's not a morning person at all.
I tend to...
His morning starts at about 11:30.
Right. And I have to be at work by 8, but all my staff knows that, you know, we don't ask Paul to make any decisions until after 10. Anyway, so Saturday morning, all these guys get up at 5 a.m. Praise the Lord for a bedroom door. Until they knock on it. They get me up, and I praise the Lord, was dressed. I was clothed anyway, not well. But anyway, I digress. I was still the best dressed one there.
You at least had the most hair.
We went down to the lake, and what we were going to do. At first, there was a jet ski involved, and they were all very excited to see me learn how to drive a jet ski. Well, I have never been on a jet ski because I'm thinner now than I was this time last year. Last year I sunk a jet ski. Not really. I just looked at it and it fell to the bottom of the lake because I was afraid I'd get on it. But so I got on the jet ski and I'm all ready to go. And they said, "Here, just give it some gas and go. It's like a motorcycle." I didn't know that a jet ski could do a wheelie. And here's the thing. I did the
Right.
and we moved this much.
Mm-hmm.
I say we. They put me on there by myself because they knew it was going to happen. I swear it was sabotage.
Right.
Really, and I'm hearing from the boat where they're all safely tucked in.
Right.
With
This
life
sounds like a
jackets,
setup from the
with
word
life
go.
jackets, I will say, by the way, and I didn't have one.
This sounds like
They
a setup
didn't
from the
offer
word
me
go.
one. So I and I heard angels sing. I swear, that thing went and my. I mean, I went and you were because I fell off and fell in the water.
You didn't have the wrist thing on? The wrist strap?
You know what? We'll talk about that later. I don't know about the wrist strap. If it was a life-saving device, they didn't give me one. Or a life jacket. But I did hear somebody say, "Hey, there's snakes in that water," and I became Jesus. I got jumped up out of the water. I ran across the water. I mean, like I would have beat Jesus to the boat. Which I found out later I was only in this much water.
Yeah. I love
so
it.
my feet were just hitting the bottom of the mud. Until my foot got stuck. And now I'm panicking because imaginary snakes that probably aren't there are all closing in on me in my mind.
That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah, because my shoe got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could hear...
You were on the jet ski with shoes on?
I didn't know we were doing the jet ski. I was in jeans.
Let me ask you something. Wait a minute. Pause. What shoes were you wearing?
Tennis shoes.
Okay, I was just making sure.
But I heard...
For those of you who don't know, hold on. For those of you who don't know, the man owns 900 pairs of shoes.
I don't either.
899 of them, boots. True story. Proceed, sir. I apologize.
I swear I'm straight. Anyway, so my foot gets stuck, and I went, and I heard, and my foot came up out of the mud. It looked like, when the mobsters would block cement around your feet and drop you in the water? It looked like a cement block of mud, but it was still wet. Yeah. And off I go running, So, I'm not very tall either. I just want to show you all that.
Realistically, all they got was your hip.
Well,
it looks like you were shaking your behind on the camera. That's great.
We'll edit that out. Anyway, so I get back to the bank and I go over to where the the boat is still tethered to the dock,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned that word this weekend, tethered. I just thought that was the only thing you did with a ball, and it was a game. But you don't remember tetherball?
I remember tetherball.
Yeah.
I remember tetherball. I was awesome at tetherball.
I got my head hit a lot with the ball, but anyway.
ADD's taking over.
Okay, so anyway, that happens. I go back to the cabin and get on dry clothes.
Right.
And go back out. I had put on a different pair of shoes, boots.
Of
And,
course.
Well, I took 3 pair with me.
I know. I was there when you packed.
So anyway, we get on the boat, and so they take off, and I hear the sound of the boat motor, and it was more of a brum, brum. But in my mind, I heard me like the jet ski, and all I could think was, oh my God, this boat's going to go up. And I saw in the movie Titanic when the boat went up, and I thought, we're on a 8-passenger party barge. Not a big boat, big enough to hold us. But
So
I just hit the deck. So
wait.
So we've got fishing poles out there now.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You and 3 balding men
They all had caps on.
were on a party barge, and
I
you
guess
hit
that's
the
what
deck like you had heard gunfire.
No, like I heard a jet ski.
Why did you?
Because
hit the
I
deck?
had just been traumatized by the jet ski. And I will say this. I think even the jet ski laughed at me when it fell back in the water. I thought the jet ski was going to come over on top of me. And so I'm scrambling in the water to get away. And I feel like I'm in the Atlantic Ocean out in the middle of it,
Yes.
I'm in this much water. But,
Yes. Okay. I just want to know.
yeah.
Fishing poles.
Anyway, so I get back up because I realized I look like a moron.
You just realized that, huh?
Well, the laughter is what, really triggered it.
All right.
And I noticed that I thought we're just going out on the water to have, a fun day out on the water or whatever. I couldn't
Right.
figure out what in the world fun we were going to have on the water, but I had spent enough time in the water, so I was happy to be just on it.
Right. Understandable.
There are fishing poles. Well, we get out there and they're fishing, and honestly, we're out there not too god awful long because the other guys decided we're not catching anything. Well, I
Right.
wasn't catching anything because
Paul don't fish.
well, they all had taken a vote and decided that the close proximity with a fishing pole in my hand, somebody was going to get whipped like they were having, getting whipped by a car antenna at his fishing pole.
Ooh.
And it was a smart vote. It was a smart decision. I wish I'd been in on it because I would have voted to stay at the house.
Right.
But anyway, so we're out there, and they decided to come back, and one of the guys says, "Hey, get out there and throw that boat up, throw the rope up on the dock." Okay, I just threw the rope. I didn't know you have to aim that loop at the
Pole.
post. That rope's got to catch something.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought that it had. So we got off the boat,
Yeah.
and then we're all on the bank, and we see the boat drifting a little bit back out in the lake. Because we did not tie the boat, it wasn't tethered to anything.
You learned a new word, huh?
So
it wasn't tethered.
Right, so one of the guys, the guy that owned the boat, runs out there and gets this much up to his knees in water
That's about all there was.
to get the rope. And he pulls this boat back, which in my mind I didn't realize, things are not nearly as heavy in water, and this boat is not nearly as big as it is in my mind. He's pulling it back like he's in an Ironman competition.
Yeah.
Now I will give you that this man is in his late 60s and bald, and his ball cap fell off during the run out to the boat, and so it was hard to see just exactly what was happening because the glare, was worse than fluorescent lighting. So, I wanted to get a little makeup bag out and put some powder on top of his head just to keep him from.
All right.
You know how they do it. The theater makeup, they want to keep powder on you to
Yes.
keep you from shining.
You mean what you did before we turned
I
the
didn't
camera
put
on?
any powder on. I did just minimal. I swear I'm straight. So
He put full on makeup on before we did this.
I
people.
did not put any.
Guys,
makeup
I'm not
on.
kidding.
Little
He
mascara
has-
and lip gloss. That's all.
He has a legitimate makeup bag with a bow on it.
Oh,
You ain't
Well,
got to get it. You ain't got to get it.
I'll show you later.
Take my word
so
for
anyway, so they get the boat back and decide that the best place to fish with me is on the bank.
it. Okay.
I thought we were going to get some money,
No. No.
but yeah, that wasn't the case.
You're aware that the bank is the edge of the water, the
I
land
found that
right
out.
there at the water.
I
okay.
did find that out.
All right.
So
Just
we
making
went.
sure.
We went to throw the. They gave me a fishing pole.
Yeah.
One it had a reel on it that I've only ever used the reels that are enclosed and like you have the button and you just throw it.
Yes.
Well, apparently this one will give you rope burn because you have to hold the line with your finger.
Yes.
Well, I didn't know that. I slapped the edge of that water for 15 minutes before I realized the hook wasn't going anywhere
Yeah.
because apparently there's something called a brake on it,
Yes.
and if you pull that thing too hard, it will break. And then all the line goes, Anyway, so they taught me how to throw the line,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm throwing it out there, and I have ADD pretty bad, and these fish just weren't biting. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth. I was afraid that I would catch one.
You.
And
The whole point of going fishing is to catch fish, right?
I know, but then you
Am I wrong in that regard?
then
Can-
you but then
am
you
I
have
wrong?
to get the fish off the hook.
Like a man.
Yeah, well, when I went with the Boy Scouts to fishing, I had one of the scout moms take the fish off for me.
Let me say this: he's not a creepy 37-year-old man going to Boy Scout fishing trips by
I have
himself.
children. I have 2 boys.
Okay, you have to understand that
Yeah, so
because it sounds creepy the way he said it.
you're a little creepy, but
I glorify creepiness.
well, in that outfit especially.
Absolutely.
I'd like to introduce you to nighttime.
Can you get back to your story, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. So we're out there fishing. Well, okay. One of the guys who I've been previously employed before by, I went to throw my pole, and the only thing he told me the whole way up there was, when we go fishing, you better not catch my hand.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
notorious for that too, by the way.
Well, I've done it again. I struck again. I went to throw my pole, and I caught his hat and threw it out in the water.
That's classic Paul right there.
Thank God it didn't come off the hook, but we got the hat back, and Jim just grabbed it and put it on his head,
Mm-hmm.
and realized then that it was soaking wet, and he pulled it off his head. And then I touched the top of his head or something and felt something different. Now, he's bald. My hook had grazed the top of his head, and he was bleeding.
Wow.
This is where the makeup bag comes in handy. There were Band-Aids in there. And I started to Band-Aid his head up all the way across with about 12 Band-Aids. He only needed really one, but it struck me funny, and so I wanted to take a picture of it, and he wouldn't let me anyway. Which I left my phone in the cabin
Mm-hmm.
because I was afraid I would drop it in the water, and after the jet ski incident, I think we've proven that I wouldn't.
Yes, you probably would.
I dropped my whole body in the water.
Yeah.
It wasn't
happens.
until I was on the jet ski that they told me I would get wet.
That's what happens. You get wet when you're out in the water. You get wet.
I
Water's
wasn't-
wet,
I
Paul.
wanted to be
Listen.
out on the water, not in it.
Well-
I don't swim in lakes. I like chlorinated, disinfected pools because
You're really letting Dolores show right now.
she's my alter ego. I'll show you. I will pull her out with makeup bag. Anyway, so I fixed up his head, and then after he realized that I was bandaging nothing, he slapped me away and made me stop, and he said, "You go over there and don't sit next to me again until we leave and go home." And I just said, "Yes, sir." So
what are you supposed to do? He's 60 years old. It's not like you can go off on the guy.
That man was 68 years old.
Well, yeah, he's 68 years old. You can't
So-
yell at a 60. You look like a douche yelling at a 68-year-old man. You can't do that.
Oh, I wasn't yelling at him. At that point, though, I was afraid that he would be able to throw me in the water.
Probably would have.
Or blind me with his head long enough to get me to stumble in it. But
That is mean.
I'm telling you, it was me
That
and
is
three
a
shiny tops.
horrible
I'm just saying.
joke.
So
Woo.
it felt like a shiny top convention. I mean, I thought it was mop and glow for a minute.
Oh, man.
So I move over to another area by the guy who owns the cabin, and I said, "How you doing?" He said, "Shh, you'll scare the fish." I said, "Now him and this other guy had been talking the whole time to each other," and I said, "Well, what's the difference?" He said, "Have you heard you?"
Wow. True stuff. That's a good point. Good
He
point.
said, "I've never had another man out here that I put in the same category as my wife, but."
That's a good point. Have you heard you? Yeah, good point.
So I was made to move again.
Yeah.
So now I'm fishing from about a half a mile from the water. So I just decided to quit because if I can catch a hat from behind, I know I could catch one from front. And I did think about trying to catch one of their, the back of their pants or something, but I thought that would. I didn't know how to get home, so I was afraid they'd make me sleep outside with the snakes.
Exactly.
So, so I'm standing back there, and I'm really thinking, and I thought, they'll get theirs. About that time, the guy who owns the cabin pulled, and he's not a fisherman really either. He's just out there putting on a very nice show.
Mm-hmm.
But he did catch a very interesting object. He pulled it, and he went to do, back like this to cast the line. Yeah. When he did, he caught the tree.
Yeah.
And when he pulled it enough, he pulled it out, and this kite that had been stuck in the tree flew out in the water, still attached to his hook. I have no idea where the bait was that was on that hook, but now we've got bigger bait.
Oh.
And he didn't realize what had happened.
Oh.
And I just am dying laughing because it looked kind of like, it was a kite that had been up there for a long time because you could tell it was from like the Dollar Tree and had a character painted on it at one time, but it had been up there so long that faded. Now we have just a white, small little crop dusting airplane going.
Now this segment is called True Story. This does not sound like a true story.
I swear it happened. Wait, he reels in the thing. The kite he had caught that kite. The hook went perfectly through the little plastic. You know how the plastic, it's made of plastic.
Yes.
Not the little rods, but just the plastic kite part.
Yeah.
He pulled that back in, and this is when he realized that he caught a kite. I have seen boots, hats. I caught my sister's fishing pole one time.
You did? Caught a toupee once.
One time, I did catch that. And
Caught an old man's toupee once.
That's when they said, Paul, you got a little hair on your hook. But anyway, he pulls it back in, and then he realizes what he's caught. And I had to say it. I said, "How big a bait do you use? What exactly are you trying to catch out here?" I mean, I thought they were fishing for like catfish, crappie, brim, or a great white whale. I don't know. But, Loch Ness Monster, I don't know. So we, at this point, everybody decided that it was probably best not to push this guy too far, because he's the one that has the house key.
Right.
And so we just decided, we're going to go back up to the cabin.
Exactly.
And we prayed. I was praying on the way up there that he would let us back in.
Oh, I love the
Now
fact
I have to say we're out there on the line, and you know, everybody thinks, oh, it's a good time on the water. No, it was in Arkansas in July. I sweated until I'm pretty sure the sweat that was coming out of me belonged to somebody else. I used all of my, you know.
It's hot. Listen, it's hot where we're at, man. It's super hot where we're at.
Yeah, and
I think it was like 107 today.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And that, you know, where we were at the lake was down further south, so I mean it was a little warmer.
Yeah. It's probably like 110 on y'all all weekend.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I felt a little boiled when I got out of that water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like a crawdad. But
y'all were down there at Satan's cesspool or something, huh?
I am telling you. And the
Yeah.
man had Satan's shower. You turn the water on, and no matter how much you turn off the hot water and cold water, you know, you're going to take a cold shower even, the water coming through those pipes had to have come through the pot on the stove boiling and then down and into the pipes.
Right.
Because there were layers of skin gone. I was red. I thought hellfire was coming through water.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was afraid to use a loofah because
One of them situations where the devil himself steps out and licks you on the back of the neck because it's so hot.
lick nothing. I'm pretty sure he spit.
All right. Okay.
Which is kind of weird. I didn't want, you know.
Yeah.
We're already in a cabin with 4 guys. I don't want to think about any other male in that shower.
Yeah.
Especially by the end of it, I'm pretty sure they were viewing me as the devil.
I bet they were.
So
Especially in the mornings.
then because I sounded like Gilbert Godfrey. My voice went from "Hey y'all" to "I am just waking up."
Oh.
In Jesus' name. Anyway.
Turned into Iago all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah. You know, I was a character from Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I'd have had that reference this weekend because I would have called one of them Prince of Boo Boo, but or Prince of Ball Ball, but you know, whatever.
Prince of Ball. You can hang on to those references.
I am going to. I'm not
Like
sure I'll be
using-
invited back to the Shiny Top Convention anymore, but
The Shiny Top Convention.
I'm telling you, I do want to give a little gift to all 3 of those guys, a little gold earring for, you know.
Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
I got the reference. I
Thank
got
you.
it. I got it. I'm
So-
hip. I'm cool. I get
That
it.
was my weekend,
Was your weekend?
and that was a true story.
That was, honest to God, a true story.
I don't know, weird things happen to me.
It happened. Yeah. It's something about you. You would just attract weird stuff to happen.
Well, you know, I think
It is something about you.
I'm not exactly the poster child for normalcy.
Yeah. Well.
When you talk like this, and
And you're as vain as you are.
I'm not vain.
You can see your scalp.
I am conscious.
You can see your scalp.
Well, you know why you can't see your scalp?
Why?
Superman's chest is on it right now.
Shut up.
I love
Stop doing that.
If you
That is
can't
not a
see
funny
the-
joke.
he
Get
needs-
new material.
You need to do a close up of your hat. The emblem on his hat
I'm not.
will look like it was on the spaceship that carried Superman to his.
Why do you do
Earth.
that?
What?
Stop that.
You just made a ball joke on me.
What? I'm a comedian. That's the point.
It runs in the family.
It doesn't run in the family.
Well, you know, you brought
Baldness runs in the family.
You
That's about it.
welcome to our version of the shallow end of the gene pool.
Very much so.
It's the only thing shallow here. I'm pretty sure our hair doesn't fall out; it just grows into fat.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Although I'm glad you're not bald on the face because that covers up some of the ugly. But
We look just alike, so don't do that.
no, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
I look like I live on the earth. You look like the planet. Or nighttime, the night sky.
I hate you.
If I did a little fleck of
Stop talking. Stop it.
all we need are some of those glow in the dark stars that you put on the ceiling. It would take 2 or 3
Okay, well, you
packages
guys
to
enjoy
cover them.
Paul. This will be his last time asked here.
Thank you for hearing my true story.
All right, guys. That was Paul's true story. Honestly, that was a true story. Like, true story. Those events really happen. I need a disclaimer here. These events really happen. But anyway, moving on. You guys, if you like the video, drop a like on it. Subscribe for more content. Share it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Jerry Stafford 41 on Twitter. Jerry Stafford 417 on Instagram. You guys follow me? Do you have anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I would like to give a big shout out to Starbucks.
All right.
Good night.
Bye, guys. All right, guys. That was True Story. It was awesome, right? If you liked the video, drop a like on it. Share the video. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to put my Twitter in a little annotation. And follow me on Twitter. You guys, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. And you guys keep it real, okay? See ya.